Harry. Are you there, Harry? I have something I need to discuss with you. Please respond as soon as possible.
Sorry, but I don't have time to discuss right now. Very busy.
Busy? What do you mean? You never leave the house. Isn't it true that you're a full-time housewife or something?
No, I've told you several times that I work from home. And, before you ask, my husband and I make around the same amount of money.
First and foremost, who said I was going to ask? And two, I seriously doubt it. I mean, isn't he a manager at one of the Fortune 500 companies or something? Are you seriously claiming that you earn the same as someone with that job? If that's the case, you must be awash in cash over there, don't you? You had better be lying or something because if it's true, I'm so jealous right now. Could you please share some of that with me? I'd like a weekly stipend, you know?
What do you mean? Is this related to why you messaged me in the first place?
Oh, please. I know you have more money than you can handle. Why can't I get some as well?
Maybe because we worked extremely hard to earn the money we have? I mean, I know you had that part-time job in high school, but have you ever worked since then?
That's exactly what I mean. That's why I require funds. Furthermore, my boyfriend and I want to go on a trip and we need money to do so.
Then do what we did, get a job, work hard, save up, and then take your trip.
Are you certain? But that's so boring. That's something I'd never do.
Are you saying that having a job is boring? I don't disagree with you, but I'm concerned about your future if that's how you envision working.
That's because I'm going to marry wealthy and never have to bother about such trivial matters.
What? Is that your intention? Just marry a wealthy person? Have you ever considered that someone so wealthy could want someone who is equally motivated to work and succeed?
What? And are you implying that I'm not that type of person or something?
I know you don't have a job, and I'm very sure you never do any housework. And you're preparing food. You recall what occurred the last time you attempted to make anything for the family, don't you? After one bite, we all decided to order takeout.
You said you weren't going to bring it up. That isn't fair.
Remember that nutritious dish you tried to cook once? It was the stew into which you had just put a whole bottle of vinegar and that awful health powder. That was a classic, for sure. But, in any case, I think my point was that you probably don't cook much at home either.
It wasn't the entire bottle, you understand? After all, we'll just employ a maid for all of that, so problem's solved.
Yes, you are quite bright. Okay, do what you want. Anyway, I have some clients to deal with, so I can't text any longer. See ya.
That's okay. I was going to come over to your house anyhow to hang out.
What? Do you mean now? Sorry for the inconvenience, but I have a couple of pals coming over tonight. Okay, let's meet up another time.
Don't worry, I don't mind. They won't disturb me at all.
That wasn't my concern. I'll be the one bothered.
I already stated that everything will be all right. I'll see you in a moment.
Stella. Did you come over and drive the Ferrari parked in my driveway? I need to know right now, so please respond.
What's all the fuss about? Why are you so agitated? It's all right. My boyfriend and I simply thought it would be fun to ride it for a while.
Driving for a while?
Yep. The wind and sun are simply wonderful.
And where did you obtain the keys to that car, may I ask?
Well, while I was leaving yours, I noticed the key case sitting in a bag and just kind of helped myself.
You simply rummaged through a bag you discovered at my house?
It wasn't just any bag, it was yours. And since we're sisters, what's yours is mine, you know?
That bag wasn't mine, Stella. I don't have anything like that.
Oh, you're serious? Oh well, I guess it doesn't really matter who had the bag. Who could possibly be concerned about such little issues when the keys to a Ferrari are there in front of you?
So you should start worrying about them now.
Anyway, my boyfriend and I wanted to act like we were on a honeymoon, so we took it. We'll return in a few days.
You took the car so you two could go on a fictitious honeymoon?
That is exactly what I stated. And this guy says he goes to Harvard, so you know he'll be okay for the rest of his life. Maybe one day we'll get married. Of course, if that were the case, we could spend our honeymoon overseas. I can see myself traveling the world with my new hubby, staying in opulent hotels. Doesn't it sound dreamy? And now we get to do it in this Ferrari. I never imagined this would happen to me in 1,000 years. I guess this is the day to ask him what he thinks about, getting married.
Stop bragging about your phony honeymoon and return that car immediately.
Yuck. Calm down.
Stella! It's not a game. I'm not kidding.
Why do you continually want to ruin my fun? Why haven't you told me you have such a cool car? Why did I only discover this today?
Stella, that's not my car.
Wait. Are you certain? Isn't that not your vehicle?
No. It belonged to one of my pals, who was at my house at the time you arrived.
You're not referring to that one incredibly poor person, are you?
That lady is not in the least bit poor.
So, if she was truly wealthy enough to afford this car, why wasn't she wearing any costly clothes or jewelry when I was there?
Because she is the type of person who prefers to spend money on automobiles rather than clothing.
Oh, I see what you're up to. I understand you didn't want to lend me the automobile, but there's no reason to lie to me about who actually owns it.
I literally can't deal with you right now. Please return the automobile right away.
Sorry. We've already reached the freeway, and I believe it's a little late for that now.
The expressway? Where do you intend to take it?
Don't be concerned. Paul is an excellent driver. Everything will be okay.
Has he ever driven a vehicle like that before?
He claims it's his first time.
And you drove it on the highway?
I know, isn't it amazing?
Please bring that car right now, okay?
We're okay. After all, we'll need this car to travel around on our fictitious honeymoon.
Stella, this isn't a game. I'm not kidding.
Oh, and I also borrowed your credit card.
What did you do?
Why didn't you inform me about that, too? I had no idea you had a black card. I thought they just awarded those to celebrities and other renowned individuals.
What do you mean by black card? I don't have a black card.
It's not good to keep lying to your younger sister like Wei.
I'm serious.
Anyway, we'll be taking your card as well as your automobile for a short adventure. We'd already used the card to acquire a lot of clothes and other items for our trip. And, of course, we didn't skimp on the branded items. I believe we've already spent maybe $20,000 or so.
You've already spent $20,000 on that card?
Yeah. And it doesn't appear that we've even begun to scratch the surface of what this card is capable of. Who knew a black card could be used for so much? You're persistent. I'm trying to enjoy my phony honeymoon here, so I'm going to block you until we return.
Stella, please don't!
Harry! Take out your phone! There is an emergency. I'm not kidding.
What are you looking for?
I no longer have access to your credit card. It had ceased to function. Was it a forgery?
Was the black card you stole a forgery?
Yeah. Paul and I are attempting to check into our hotel, but our credit card is not being accepted. We had them attempt multiple times, but they said the payment was not accepted. That suggests the card was a forgery, right? Oh, no. What shall we do?
Stella, you won't be able to use that card because the owner has frozen it.
What? They had the card frozen?
Yes, it's that thing where you call the credit card company and ask them to halt any further purchases on that card.
I know what it means to freeze a card. However, if the card is frozen, we won't be able to check into our hotel. And the room I reserved was supposed to be one of the greatest suites on the property.
Perhaps you could make the reservation with your own money instead?
But we just have a small amount of cash right now.
I see. And if it was a hotel suite, I'm sure it was expensive. Perhaps you could just go to the bank and withdraw some money to pay the deposit?
On this vacation, I didn't bring any of my credit cards.
Wow. Are you certain?
I have to because I was planning on using your card instead. That is why I need you to go right now and unfreeze the card. Please.
Look. I attempted to clarify previously, but that car is not mine.
But was that a lie?
Stella, please open your eyes. Examine the card. What is the inscription on it? Is my name Henry?
But I thought I checked it out before taking it.
Let's be honest, you can barely read at a 4th grade level, so don't act like literacy is your strong point.
Don't be so rude. I understand how to read.
Take up the card, bring it up to your face, and reread the name printed on it.
That, however, is not possible. I only glanced at it and assumed it said Harry, but it actually says Henry. And the surnames are identical. How is this possible?
Isn't that an amazing coincidence? In fact, we became friends because we have nearly same names. We joked that if we were a pair, it would be difficult to tell a support on paper.
So there. Who exactly is Henry?
Why don't you ask your guy about her?
Why would Paul recognize her?
Just ask him, please.
What the hell is going on? When I asked him about Henry, he grabbed the car keys from my grasp and bolted out the door.
Hey Stella, did you eventually capture Paul?
Well, that is something you could say. However, the truth is that he simply crashed the Ferrari.
What exactly do you mean he crashed it?
He got carried away, pushed on the gas, and drove directly into the parking lot barrier as he was attempting to flee. The front of the automobile was dented, but Paul was unharmed.
Do you understand what you just did?
What's the big deal about it? I simply do not understand you. Just take it to the mechanic, right? You're always freaking out about the smallest things. It drives me insane. Like an elder sibling, but you have to allow me make mistakes now and again.
I'm pleased your boyfriend is fine, okay? But this isn't a minor blunder. Furthermore, have you determined why your boyfriend panicked and attempted to flee when you confronted him about Henry?
Oh. Actually. I forgot about that, now that you mention it. But, in any case, couldn't you just tell me what's going on?
Henry's younger brother's name is Paul.
What's her name? That's something I had no idea about.
Do you recall that one time? I'm not sure when, but there was this dinner party I was going to that you weren't invited to but sneaked in anyway? So, isn't that where you initially met Paul?
What does that have to do with anything? Wait. Was that Paul's sister's house?
Yes, it was. Anyway, you might have heard from Paul, but Henry and him have an odd relationship. That's why he probably freaked out when you told him the cards you just borrowed belonged to his elder sister, Henry.
That implies that the automobile. Is it also Henry's?
That's exactly what I've been trying to tell you. She owns both the car and the card.
Can you repeat everything?
Okay. I'll try to explain everything from the beginning once more. I didn't own the Ferrari you were driving or the black credit card you were using. Henry is the owner of everything I just mentioned.
Wait. So, then. Her own younger brother has no idea what kind of car she drives.
She only got the car approximately 3 days ago. I doubt Paul even realized she possessed it in the first place. That's what Henry is saying right now.
Is Henry present?
Yep.
Is she even mad?
In fact, I would describe her as insane. And after using her card to buy $20,000 worth of garbage, not to mention the expenses you'll have to pay to send the car to a specialist who works with foreign cars, you're definitely looking at least $100,000 in damages.
$100,000?
And that is the most you might owe at the end of this. That is why Henry has been enraged since this morning. Who knows what she'll do to you both when you return? She's had a very scary expression on her face all day, and it's starting to creep me out. I'd be worried.
Is it that bad?
Yes, it appears so. And there's one more thing.
After all that, what else could you possibly want?
We received a call from the hotel where you were attempting to check in.
You got a call from the hotel? What did they want to discuss?
Henry's husband, on the other hand, runs a resort company. And because he's close to the hotel's owner, he got a call right away when someone using his wife's card arrived up.
Wait. What are you trying to say? What do you intend to say next?
I'm on my way. Anyway, I think the cops turned up to the hotel to question Henry's husband about who this guy with his wife's card was and if they intended to take legal action. I mean, I won't lie, she's hardly the kind of lady you want as an adversary. Anyway, I've got to go. See you later.
Stella and Paul returned home looking like dead men walking after dealing with the wrecked automobile. Henry was, of course, waiting for them in a swiveling chair we had so she could whirl around and greet them spectacularly. As the two of them knelt to ask her forgiveness, Henry removed an envelope from her breast pocket and handed it to them. A bill for $70,000 was found inside. There were, of course, the items purchased with her stolen card, as well as the estimated cost of the Ferrari repairs. However, near the end of the list were the repairs to the hotel parking lot fence, which was destroyed in the accident. Henry told them they should be grateful she didn't call the cops on them. Stella is currently employed at one of Henry's husband's resorts. Meanwhile, Paul had to drop out of college and find work at a company run by Henry's acquaintance. She made sure to wish them both luck in repaying every penny they owed. She still visits the two of them on a regular basis. I believe she derives some sick satisfaction from seeing them both labor so hard for what.
Hey, Mom. Where's everybody? I just got home from work, but no one is home.
Why did you leave so early today?
I feel very good today, so I get everything done quickly and on time.
Oh, I get it.
I will make dinner. Is there something you want me to do?
No, we won't have dinner at home.
Are you eating at a restaurant?
No, we are traveling to Europe.
What?
Your dad, your sister, and we're going to have a family trip, just the three of us.
A family trip without me?
Your dad suddenly gets 2 months of paid leave. We also made some extra money from our investments, so we decided to go to Europe together. We just got on the plane.
What about me?
Why do you think you can come with us?
Huh?
You get sick very often. You will ruin our trip if we take you with us.
But I want to go to Europe.
Don't be selfish. At least let us enjoy this trip without you.
I'm sorry.
It's fine as long as you get it. Keep us safe at home.
I will.
And never contact us until we return from this trip.
What? Why? What if it's an emergency? It is possible to contact you if it is an emergency, right?
Why are you in a situation where you have to contact us? Just don't get yourself in trouble. If something really happens to you, someone else will contact us instead of you. I just don't want you to spoil our trip by making us remember your miserable face. Therefore, you should not contact us at any time until we get back.
Okay.
We have to get on the plane now. See you in 2 months. Keep the house clean and safe. And don't spend your money on useless things.
I know.
Hi, Fiona. My parents said that they saw your parents and sister at the airport yesterday. Why don't you stay with them?
Oh, hello, Otis. They traveled to Europe without me. Looks like they'll be away for 2 months.
What the hell? Why did they go on such a long trip without you?
You know how often I get sick. They said I would ruin their trip if I went with them and got sick during the trip.
That's a bad statement.
It's good now. Anyway, I have a job. I can't take 2 months off work to go with them.
But I still worry that you have to be home alone. What if something happened to you? Who will be there to help?
You are so sweet to care about someone like me. What have I done to deserve you? Thank you for always being with me. I love you.
I told you to stop talking about yourself like that. It's normal to be nice to the person you love.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It has become a habit to think of myself that way. But I will try to change for you.
Well, I guess it's inevitable that you've been around such a toxic family for over 20 years. I can understand why it's hard for you to change right away. But make small changes so you stop treating yourself badly.
Thank. You are so attentive.
Oh, you should see a doctor.
What?
Isn't now a good time to do it while your family is away?
But my mother told me not to spend money on useless things.
Your health check is not in vain. I will find you a good doctor. This is what I want most for my future wife.
Your future wife?
I was going to propose to you directly. But I can't wait any longer to let you know that I want you to be with me for the rest of my life. And I want you to be healthy so we can be together as long as possible. Don't you want to marry me? Is it because of what I do for a living?
No. Not so. That's not what I mean. It's just that my mind goes blank for a moment. I want to get married with you.
I think you'll break up with me for a second there. I won't make you regret marrying me.
Hi, Fiona. You forgot to clean the house.
Yes, Mom? Oh, that's right. It's been 2 months.
Stop acting like a fool! I don't know where you are wandering now, but come back now and clean the house. I didn't think I would return from such a pleasant trip to a dirty house covered in dust.
Mom, I don't live there anymore. I have left.
What do you mean?
I'm not going back to that house again, so you'll have to clean it up yourself.
What do you mean you don't come back? Do you think you can continue to live alone because you get sick often?
Yes, about that. I went to the doctor and checked myself.
What? I told you not to spend money on such useless things. You should save money for something more important.
Please, listen to me. Apparently, the reason I get sick so often is my allergy to house dust.
Allergic to dust?
Now that I think about it, I don't feel bad staying in my room because I can keep it clean and tidy. But my symptoms got worse when I had to clean your room.
You mean because we live in filth, that's why you get sick? Be careful with your words when you talk to me.
But it is true. You keep your room covered with dust all the time until it's covered, and then you make me clean up for you. You could let me in the room more often to clean it up before the dust builds up, but for some reason you don't want me in the room too often. But this explains why I feel nauseous every time I walk into your room, but I'll be fine after a while.
Stop wasting my time. I don't care why you are so sensitive to dust. Wear a mask or whatever you have to do to prevent that and go back to the house to clean up.
I told you I'm not going home.
What?
My boyfriend proposed to me.
Do you have a boyfriend?
I'm about to get married.
Are you serious?
He always took good care of me and even took me to the doctor to find out why I was often sick. He is a wonderful person.
So you left to live with this guy? Why did you make such an important decision without asking us first?
Well, you told me not to contact you until you returned from the trip. That's why I'm telling you now.
Don't make excuses with me. We won't be able to let you get married before your sister. We will never forgive you if you get married before her.
Does she already have a fiancé?
We can't let any old man get close to her without scrutinizing her. She is our daughter. We have to be careful with who we let her be with. She can't marry someone who has no money and doesn't treat her well. We are still looking for a nice rich gentleman for her to marry.
Then when will I get married?
You don't have to get married. Either way, the man you're with probably isn't that great. After all, which man would choose to marry you?
Don't talk about him like that. He treated me so well, made me realize how badly you all treated me. You have no right to say anything like that about him.
Pay attention to your tone, Fiona.
I will get married regardless of what you say.
Fiona! Don't be so selfish. We won't let you get married. Hi, Fiona. I found out where you had your wedding.
Huh? What?
Right now I'm in the dressing room.
But I didn't invite you.
I joined using the invitation you sent your aunt.
An invitation from Aunt Kira? What are you talking about?
You should have stayed home like a sick person. I won't let you go through this wedding, even if I have to destroy it with my own hands.
Mom, what are you going to do?
Now it's all over for you. You won't have a dress to wear. I cut it into pieces. Now you will have to cancel the entire wedding ceremony.
What? My wedding dress? But
There is no way you can get married now. You cannot have a wedding without a wedding dress.
I wore the dress.
What?
I mean, our wedding just ended. And I'm about to take the dress off.
What?
Where are you? Are you still in this wedding hall?
Yes, of course. I arrived at the wedding hall on Madison Street exactly as it was on the invitation.
But my wedding was in Greece.
Are you in Greece?
I just invited his family and friends. I did not invite any of my relatives.
So whose dress is this?
Could it be that you are at one of Aunt Kira's friends' weddings?
What? Oh no.
Aunt Kira told me that her friend's son is getting married.
I accepted this invitation from her.
Yes. Didn't you check the name on the invitation?
Oh no.
So that wedding dress was torn to pieces by you. I wonder how much it costs.
It's all your fault. Kira's friends are making me pay not only for the wedding dress, but for the wedding itself. She canceled the wedding after learning what I did to her dress. Now she is making me pay for the wedding she canceled. How can I pay $40,000? It's your fault for having a wedding on the same day and confusing me with another wedding. And it's your fault for not listening to me about not getting married before your sister. It's all your fault. So you should pay this $40,000.
Stop talking to her like that.
What?
You are talking to my wife there. You can't treat her like that.
Who is this?
My name is Otis. Fiona and I just got married.
Is that Otis?
Oh, so you've heard of my name?
Why did the son of a gang boss marry my daughter?
We went to the same high school and I fell in love with her as soon as I saw her. Do not worry. I will not follow in my father's footsteps. I'm just an ordinary person working in a construction company.
But your dad is still.
Hey, let me talk a little bit.
I'm sorry.
If you wanted to talk about my father so much, would you like to meet him in person?
No. I don't want to.
I'm here to ask you a favor. Fiona doesn't want to see you again.
Okay. Do whatever you want.
Okay, good. I'm glad you understood so quickly. You are not as stupid as I thought. Never go near Fiona, hear me?
Yes, of course.
And another thing.
What is it?
About Fiona's sister, Hebe.
How about her?
We'll take her with us.
What?
She's already here with us.
Why is she there?
I want to be with Fiona. Our parents just treat us like dolls that they can do anything with. The only person who ever treated me like a real human being was Fiona. I don't want to go to Europe without her, but her parents keep refusing to take her with me. Please, let me stay with Fiona. That's what Hebe told us.
Did she say so?
It's disgusting that two people are trying to get her to marry a 40-year-old man just because he's rich. She's just 19 years old.
How did you find that out?
Oh, don't underestimate me. I may not be in my father's business, but I have my way to access any information I need. Hebe is beautiful and multi-talented. She's exactly the type of person the 40-year-old pig wants to marry. He wants your daughter so much that he will do anything.
Yes, he told us that too.
He even stalks her.
It's just because he loves Hebe too much.
But she was afraid of him and ran to us for help. We can't let her go back to you crazy people.
No. Wait. Please return Hebe to us. What would we do without her?
That pig will pay you if you convince Hebe to marry him, right? You just wanted to use her for money.
What?
So your plan is to get him to pay the $40,000 you owe for the wedding you destroyed. By making Hebe marry someone she doesn't want. You tell Fiona that your husband gets 2 months of paid leave. But the truth is that he quit because you thought that pig would give you enough money to live a lifetime. Bastards! You are worse than a pig lusting after your daughter.
No! We only...
Promise me you'll never go near Hebe either.
I will!
I'm glad this is going easy. I think it will be much harder to make you understand. I'm glad I don't have to convince you.
Yes, sir! Are we done talking?
Correct. I have nothing more to say to you. Don't worry about your daughter. I will take good care of them. Have fun figuring out how to pay for the wedding you ruined. My parents have stopped communicating with me and my sister. But I love my sister more than ever, and we're really close. My toxic parents lost 2 daughters at once, and the pig that wanted to have a sister was furious because they didn't keep their promise. He was so angry that he asked them to return the security deposit he had paid them when my parents agreed to force Hebe to marry him. That's the money they used for their trip to Europe, and they have nothing left to give back. So, they have to borrow money to pay him. They will now be in debt for years to come. They sold their house, but it was in such bad condition that it didn't sell for much. Now my sister and I can live freely without worrying about our toxic parents reappearing in our lives. I'm really grateful for what Otis has done for us.
Hey, can you stay a minute after work? I have something to talk to you.
Is it important? I have to go home with my wife.
Yes, it's very essential. John, you should stay and hear that.
Okay. Come in.
Thanks, baby.
What do you want to say?
Oh, I miss you so much.
Don't talk nonsense. We're just colleagues.
But I don't want to be your colleague. I want to be your lover.
Lover? I don't have any special impression with you. You should stop.
No, but I love you. I can do anything for you.
I don't want to talk to you any longer. Go away. Don't give me your easy words.
I love you, John.
Be careful.
See? You worry about me. You love me. Don't lie yourself.
Stand up.
Hey John. What are you doing?
What are you doing here?
So I ask you again. What do you do?
It's not what you're thinking.
I caught you red-handed. You were hugging your secretary. Don't lie to me, John. How can you deal with this matter?
I just help her to stand up.
Really?
No, I love him and so does he. He will divorce and start a new relationship with me.
You need to stop talking nonsense if you want to continue working here.
No! I only tell the truth. Hey, Judy, tell your sister to divorce with John.
I want keep the relationship that's not worth saving.
Judy, please don't get me wrong.
Explain and apologize to my sister.
Please don't tell her anything.
I will tell her everything I saw. Hi, how's it going, Julia?
I'm fine and my design of flower is very much in demand.
That sounds good, lucky to you.
It's very kind of you to say so.
How about you and John these days?
How come you ask me that question?
You didn't see any strange thing?
No, I have been working all day long these days.
I will tell you a shocking news. Your husband has an extramarital affair with his secretary. I saw both of them hugging each other at his room at our company. I think you should ask him about that and deal with the problem.
I didn't know anything about his secretary. Do you have any information about her?
I have her phone number. Do you want it?
Send me. I want to figure it out.
Not only just talk with her, but also ask your husband.
Don't worry, I will handle it thoroughly.
What do you feel now?
I'm very surprised and a little bit disappointed in my husband.
Don't be sad that easily. Finding the truth and everything will be okay.
Is this Jasmine?
Yes, it is. And who is this?
My name is Julia. I think that you know who I am.
Sorry, but never have I heard that name.
I'm John's wife. Ha ha ha.
How come you burst into laughter?
It's very funny that you don't know who's your old flame's wife.
Oh, you turn out to be my rival.
Oh, you're as bold as brass, then I think.
I don't think so because the woman John loves is me, not you.
How old are you?
Why you ask me that?
You look too young, but why you behave so silly? You think a successful man having 2 kids and a wife will leave his family to love a girl like you?
Because I'm beautiful and I understand what he gone through at work, not like you.
Ha ha ha, what innocent you are.
That's why he loves me.
You seem not to be scared of anything.
Why I have to scare an old, ugly woman like you?
Are you sure?
At least John will protect me and we will be happy from now on.
But you ever think what I will do if it happens? You think you have any chances to undermine my family?
What will you do?
It will be horrible than you can imagine. Even your career, you family. I will let them know what you're doing. Or do you mind if I let you jobless or something more catastrophic? Just thinking, girl, you re-having your future and also your reputation to exist in this harvish society. Don't be dedicate your youthfulness just because of a man who had family. Don't be that easily scared. I am knowledgeable. I won't do that in polite action. Just thinking about what I have just said comprehensively. This is an alert I give to you.
How's it going?
I spent all day taking care of my child, so I don't have time to get out of the house. I didn't even suspect that he was cheating on me. All you saw seemed to be the truth.
I have always been aware of how much pain John caused you. Don't be too sad, you have to talk to him straightly. Knowing more just let you sadder and sadder. Don't investigate anymore. Just asking John if you want to stay or not, at the worst case, divorce and take the right to raise your children.
Why are the bad things always come to me like that? I used to have a happy family and these cute children. Why things come so suddenly and kill me like that? I can't stand that. What I have to do now, Judy? How about my children? If they know, what will they thinking?
Julia, you need to keep calm down now. I know everything comes unexpected, but you still have your store and also your children. You have to hold out to protect your child and your family. Talking to John, Julia.
Thank you. If I don't have you here, I don't know what to do.
If the truth are what you and I saw, just stand firm and accept that John don't love you anymore. Free yourself from that relationship, and I hope that you can find a proper man. And I believe that you can stay alone without the care of a man, and you will raise your children well. I wish you all the best.
Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
Hey John, I know all things you do behind me. Let's divorce.
What? Are you serious right now?
I don't need you, or you're a spawn in my life. All I need is my son. We are fine without you. I've already filed for divorce, so you need to get out. Don't forget to take your spawn with you.
Your leeching days are over.
Leeching? Your son is the only one who is leeching off of people. I am not interested in any more of your slander against my son.
Just get out.
And what do you mean? You filed for divorce? How could you possibly have done that?
I found a divorce petition earlier today, already signed.
I just took the liberty of dropping it off for you.
Ah. You stole my thunder. I was looking forward to the day when I can file for divorce.
You don't know the truth. Don't act too quickly. It'll influence to our sons.
I have met her few days ago. She told me all things. That you and her have been in a relationship for a long time. And you told that you would divorce and get married to that woman. I will do everything before you do that. The one who divorces must be me, not you. You don't have right to do that. The liar don't have power to do anything. I will be the one who decide all of this.
Julia, calm down. I didn't say anything to Jasmine like she told you. All thing is just her saying, I don't do that. I love you and our sons. I want us to raise them together. Don't get me wrong.
Why have you still lied until now, John? Judy saw you and her at your room directly, and I have met her. Everything is clearly, you can't give me the runaround anymore.
That day is a misunderstanding. I just helped her to stand up because she flopped when trying to give me the document. I threatened her with the sack. If she continues to approach me and my family, she will be dismissed. The proof is I will discharge her immediately if you told me to do that.
Do you have proof for your saying?
Yes, I will do anything to protect our family and 2 sons.
Are you serious?
I won't let them hurt. So would you give me a change to solve this problem? Thank you. I love you, Julia. You're so tolerant.
Yes, let's give Jasmine your marching orders. And I will believe in you. I want submit divorce petition.
If you want, I can give you anything because you're my wife.
Moreover, I want a job at your company. I don't want to stay at my store and at home to do housework anymore.
Let's live forever together and raise our sons to be a good person. Let's live forever together and raise our sons to be a good person.
If you got my forgive, don't let me disappointed.
Yes, my darling. Hey, Jasmine, I have to sack you because you aren't thoughtful through working process.
What? I just tell you the truth. Did your wife tell you to sack me? I don't accept the truth. I am a good secretary. I help you a lot at work and nobody can take the place of me. I will do all things for you. Please don't let me get away from you. I love this job and I love you.
I'm sorry, but can you stop talking crazy things?
No, I know you love me.
What a brazen-faced woman. I'm so despair with you. A beautiful and young woman, you have good education and you're very intelligent. Why you rush headlong to the man who already have a family? Just accept it. I will pay you 1 month's salary before you go. I won't say anything to you. Now get out of here, or I will call the safeguard to get you away from the company. Don't let yourself feel ashamed and destroy your future.
Hey, Kate. Come here whenever you're at. What are you doing? Haven't you finished making dinner yet? It's taking so long for a housewife. You're definitely not very good in the kitchen.
Come on, Mom. I'm not at home today. As I told you before, I have a work today. I prepared your lunch, so if you're hungry you can take it out of the fridge. And you can heat it up then. It's labeled for you.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself making up stories like that? Not to mention expecting your poor mother-in-law to eat cold leftovers. You really can't do anything, right?
They're not cold leftovers, Mom. I made it for you to have for lunch and you can heat it up in the microwave. And I'm not making up stories. What am I supposedly lying about?
Kate, I know. You're a full-time housewife leeching off my son's money. You don't need to pretend you have a job or anything. The truth must be that you're out shopping or something.
What? Mom, what makes you think that? And why would I make up such a lie in the first place? Anyway, I really do have a job. You can ask your son when you see him.
I know you so well, Kate. Do not hide it from me. I bet you're melding off about me to your dreadful housewife friends somewhere. Really, it's just terrible. If you have so much free time, then why aren't you down at the fertility clinic?
Why are you bringing that up of all things?
Although you call yourself a full-time housewife, you go out leaving the chores unfinished, you can gossip about me. And why haven't you and Peter had any children? It must be your fault that I don't have a grandchild. Do you think you should take some responsibility and do something about it? Poor Peter.
Mom, listen. Children are blessings. So I don't need to go to a fertility clinic. If it happens, it happens. And anyway, I do really have a job. Because of the company's policy, I usually work from home these days. But there are times I need to go to the office in person too. I know I've told you this before.
My son has bought such a beautiful house for the two of you to live in. But I can see it's going to waste in your hands. Aren't you ashamed to call yourself a housewife?
I don't call myself a housewife. I told you I have a job. Besides, the house is perfectly fine.
What are you talking about? Honestly, my dear son doesn't deserve such things.
Mom, what do you mean by that?
Peter's finally able to save enough to buy a brand new house after years. But his wife isn't doing anything to maintain it, just sitting around, lazily day after day, letting the place deteriorate. You really are a parasite after all.
Did Peter actually say any of that?
What?
Did Peter tell you he bought the house?
Of course. My son bought the house. This house is on his name. I don't even need to ask him.
Okay, if you say so. Anyway, I'm about to go back on shift now. So don't expect any more messages from me until I get home. And don't forget about your lunch in the fridge. I made it specially for you. So I'm sure you can manage something.
What a cold-hearted woman you are. I don't know how Peter married a good-for-nothing woman like you. My poor son.
Whatever, Mom.
That's over, Kate. You need to leave this house. Now. Stop leeching off my son.
Excuse me?
You're not going to conduct yourself like a proper wife. So I can't let you free vote off my son anymore. You parasite. So I demand that you leave this house.
What are you talking about? You demand that I leave? Why? I have been nothing but decent to you this whole time. And besides, you're the one who decided to come and move in with us in the first place. And now you're asking me to leave? Do you really think that is going to happen?
It's going to happen. I'm Peter's mother, you know. I have the right to decide who lives in our house.
Even though the house doesn't belong to either of you?
Again? Acting all high and mighty. How dare you downplay his achievements? He's worked for years to afford this place. You should show him some appreciation. This horrible attitude of yours is exactly why you're a parasite housewife. You can't have children and doesn't do housework. You have no worth in this world. No worth at all.
Mom, no, Ella, what an old-fashioned attitude you have. I'm almost impressed that you can really say that with a straight face. You're not knowing anything about the situation.
Not content with bad-mouthing my son, so you intend to mock me as well now?
Not at all. In fact, I intend to honor your request if you so insist.
Well, you'll be leaving immediately. I feel like my luck is draining away with every second you spend in this house. So do me a favor and vacate the property as soon as possible.
Fine, Ella. If that's how you feel, then I guess there's nothing for it. I'll be gone before you know it.
Well, it's about time. My son and I will finally be free from your burdensome presence. I've been terribly stressed out having to live in the same house with a disgusting parasite like you.
You're really crossing the line, Ella. I've put up with you too much. This is verbal abuse.
I don't care how you feel about it. You'll be out of the house soon. My son bought the house with the money he earned. So we don't want to let parasite like you around who doesn't contribute to the house. Just leave us in peace.
Sure. I don't need to live here anymore. I'll go. You and your dear son can live together happily.
You know that, right? I'm surprised a silly woman like you can get that.
Well, I'll just sell the house then. I need the money to buy another house to live in, you know, right?
What? What do you mean? You sell the house? How dare you?
I don't want to say anymore.
Just a minute there. Explain what you meant by that. How exactly are you planning to do that?
Well, it's, in fact, my house. So if you insist that I leave, I guess that means I have no choice but to sell it. Unless you decide to leave instead. But in which case, I'll probably still sell it. A beautiful house, I'm sure I can sell it pretty easily. But either way, you don't need to live with a horrible parasite like me anymore. Does that reassure you?
What? Wait a minute. What's going on? I don't get it. What are you saying? It's your house? What are you talking about? You've been talking nonsense this whole time. You must be lying to me. Don't act like this house belongs to you when Peter worked hard for years to afford it. How dare you belittle my son?
I'm not belittling anyone. I'm just telling you the truth. This house does belong to me in the legal sense.
How can that be?
I paid for it with my money. The deed is in my name.
I don't understand.
Yeah. The house you've been living in this whole time actually belongs to your cold-hearted parasite. Do you get it? Don't be so surprised. The house is my property, so if you want me to leave, you'll have to purchase it from me.
What? You say that it's not Peter's house?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you this entire time. Oh, I forget to tell you something. That Peter hasn't gone to work for over a year. He's unemployed.
What?
Oh, it looks like he didn't tell you yet. At first, he did try to find another job. But he gave up when he couldn't find any. He hasn't been to a job interview or sent a resume out in months. He's been living off my money this entire time.
But I see him going out every morning. He also dress up well. How could that be true? I don't believe you.
Oh, it's up to you. You can ask your dear son to check my word. You know what? He just takes the car out and hangs out with his friends all the time. Maybe he wants to look like an employed man to hide from the reality. I know that, but I haven't said anything. I did believe that he would find a job some days. But never did I imagine being forced to leave out my house.
What?
I pay all the bills, allowances, everything. I also know that he steals my money to go down to the racetrack and gambles. He just sits in a bar until after dark, or he just spends the day playing video games at his girlfriend's house.
His girlfriends? Gambling? No, you're definitely lying. You're making things up again. My son would never do any of those things.
You could believe whatever you want to believe. But it won't change the fact that what I just told you is the truth. You can ask him. The one who's been supporting you this entire time isn't him. It is me. I've been letting the both of you live in my house. I pay for all your expenses.
This can't be happening. That Peter is unemployed, that can't be right. It doesn't make any sense. If neither of you are working, then how have you been able to afford to live?
How many times do I have to tell you? I have a job and I work from home. I've been working since before Peter and I were even married. So I have some savings. But things are different now. I can't take living in the same house with the two of you and dealing with your behavior anymore. I'll be leaving this place, so I'm going to sell the house.
I could wait to ask Peter if what you're saying is true. But if it's true, where are we gonna go? We have no income, I'm already retired. How are we going to live?
I don't have any clue, and I don't even care about this. I guess you'll have to figure that out with your scumbag son and decide for yourselves.
What? How dare you call my son a scumbag? What an awful thing to say about your own husband.
Well, it's the truth, he's unemployed now. So if I divorce him, I doubt he'll be able to pay the alimony. Since we've come to this point, I've already made up my mind to divorce him. I think his girlfriend might help him out with the legal fees.
You're planning to divorce him and sell this house? Are you being serious?
I'm serious. Why would I want to keep living here while supporting my cheating husband? There's nothing in it for me. Anyway, you should make your decision soon. Whether the two of you are going to leave the house, or whether you will stay and buy the house from me. The housing market is still going up. So I recommend you decide quickly.
How could you do this to us? You're Peter's wife. I'll admit I didn't know anything about him being unemployed. But everyone falls on hard times in life. And as his wife, it's your job to support him when things are difficult.
Don't you realize what I did? I did support him for an entire year. Actually, I put up with all your bullying and verbal abuse. I put up with his cheating and let him gamble away my money. But this is what it's all come to you. This is the last straw, to be honest.
But you can't just force us out of the house.
Why can't I?
You're not thinking things through. Consider the situation we'll be in if you do that.
But have you two ever thought about my situation?
What do you mean?
You try to force me to leave when you thought this was Peter's house. You even didn't care where I would live. Did you think about what I would do or where I would go?
Well, you could have just gone back to live with your parents or something like that.
My parents live on the other side of the country. You didn't think about me at all. So you don't get the right to complain when I treat you the same way.
What are you trying to say?
How many times do I have to repeat myself? I'm selling the house. If you want me to leave, that means I have to sell it. Because it's my legal house. Do you understand now? I don't care where you and your scumbag son go.
Really, Kate? How can you take such an irresponsible attitude to us? We're your family.
No, don't say that. Once the divorce is settled, you're just some other people that have nothing to do with. I'm not being irresponsible at all. Although I'm sure you turned as white as a sheep during this conversation. But I'm well past my limit, this is the action I've been driven towards. All of this is your fault. So now take what you deserve.
Please, Kate. Please think about Peter and I a little. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm now enlightened. I beg for you forgiveness.
No, no way. I'm done. I'm done thinking about the two of you. I don't need either of you in my life anymore. No matter how you try and persuade me, I've already made up my mind.
Peter doesn't have a job right now, so how are we supposed to live? Who is going to support us?
Who know? I guess you're gonna have to get a job, you're not old enough to receive a pension.
No, I don't to work. I just want to enjoy my life.
Well, look who's the lazy woman. So, bye now. Never contact me again. After that, Ella found out the truth about her son. She realized that everything I told her was true. In the end, Peter was at a loss. After the divorce, he is still jobless. He's also forced to pay alimony because he'd been cheating and abusive. There's nothing they could do to save themselves.